I'm going to tell you what Sean McVay is going to do. First of all, big play Slay, what they call him, who does he cover? And who do the Rams believe will benefit more from being covered by Slay? Will it be Puka Nacua or will it be Cooper Kupp? Who do they think brings the better advantage? The other part, week 2 against the Falcons. Oh, of course you're going to mention that one, Steve.
All the way back to week 2.
Here's why I'm mentioning. Their offensive coordinator was where?
With Sean McVay in LA.
Thank you. Week 4, Buccaneers. Similar offense.
Liam Cohen, similar offense.
Browns. And yes, I said the Browns. But here's what I saw with the Browns game. I went back and watched that game this morning. Because, first of all, when Deshaun Watson is back there, you got to watch it and see what he's missing, because it's a hell of a lot. The Browns lost 16-20. But you know what the Browns did? The Browns were able to create enough rush on the defensive side to speed up their offense, but they also kept Philadelphia's defense honest by having a third and manageable. And why that is problematic for the Philadelphia Eagles, because they got that 36-year-old dude named Matthew Stafford, who, even though it was a fumble, wasn't a fumble, the wherewithal to know that he had a man right there. Yep. Hey, he was snitching on himself before he went down. Yep, he was right there.
I'm throwing it. Like, as he went down. Yeah.
The similarity and understanding, and the thing that ultimately, Vic Fangio wants to make you throw underneath. And what does Sean McVay do well? Create a lot of underneath throws with 3 wide receivers. And Sean McVay also runs the football. But whatever is the hot hand, he will continue to go with that hot hand. If the passing game is the hot hand, guess what? Chuck it and duck it, baby. That's what he's doing. If the run game is going, stretch, and at some point, what is he going to do? He's going to stretch you and throw the explosive play. Tutu Atwell will be active. There will be a lot of eye candy and a lot of things that the defense, that the Philadelphia Eagles have to do. Keeping Philly honest, throwing screens and all that stuff because of the D-line is so good. I brought up these games because the Philadelphia Eagles are a better team than the Browns, than the Buccaneers, and the Falcons. But what Sean McVay will do is he's going to rewatch those games, and he's already done it, but he's going to get the plays that worked in all of their games and have that implemented into the game plan, which can make things interesting as the game unfolds. That's why I brought those games up.
No, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. I'm interested to see how the targets are adjusted, perhaps, by the way Sean sees things with which side of the field he can attack more. Because, I mean, Philly, they do stay on their side. Can I design more for where's my advantage? Is it Kupp on Slay? Is it Kupp on Q? Is it Puka on Slay? Puka, like, he can move things around in the way that he can maybe try to find his advantages. I think that's going to be an interesting aspect of it. One note on Philly's defense, by the way, Nolan Smith has become a baller coming off.
He was a baller in college, bro. It's not surprising. That's why they picked him.
Well, I know, but he had and everybody takes a minute to figure out the NFL. And also, I will say this: he played like last year with a torn shoulder almost the entire season.
He's a baller, bro. He doesn't get a lot of credit. The way he rushes, the way he drops in coverage.
Relentless.
He does not get enough credit, but I'm telling you, when he's not on the field, that team misses him.
Big time. And I always love edge rushers that welcome and want and ask to play special teams, because he wants to be on special teams, because he likes to go and play and make plays. So can they get pressure if Jalen Carter moves the pocket from the interior? Steve, you know the way this works, right? If he just gets Stafford to move, you look at a guy like Nolan Smith making plays with an older quarterback. But I'll just say real quick, and then I'll flip to the other side. If Stafford gets in his bag again, where he goes like unconscious and he goes into blackout mode,
y'all in trouble.
Like, everybody's in trouble, because he's done that a few times this second half of the year. We've talked about it. He did it at the game I was at in Seattle, where he just took that over in an overtime and stuff, and then he makes plays. and he finds a way to make plays. On the other side, I think the passing game is something that I think I want to discuss with you in Philly. Some people I talked to in the locker room there's rust from Jalen being out with the concussion. Other players said, no, I don't think there's any rush. I think we didn't execute well. We didn't communicate well. We didn't do things the way we normally do things within our passing game. And then some guys were frustrated. That was a frustrated locker room, I would say, on the offensive side, talking to players after a postseason win. Because I know they know they can't play like that in the passing game moving forward and expect to win. What I do think gives them an advantage, Steve, is what did we see? Like when they needed a play,
they got to play.
They got to play. Why? Because they just got more dudes than you do.
Correct.
Oh, we don't have anything going for a while. Like, oh, Dallas Goedert's back, who legitimately is a top 10, 7 tight end in this league, and he stiff arms his way down the entire sideline for a touchdown and makes a play. They're stagnant for a really long period of time, and then Smitty makes a big play. Like they just have guys that can make big plays. And then the other part of it is this: you have an offensive line in Philadelphia where you have all pros at each tackle this year. You have a Pro Bowl center and a Pro Bowl left guard.
I hear you, but them young,
but those guys, but that D-line,
young naive D-line for the Rams. Don't tell them because they didn't know they wasn't supposed to show up like that.
This is one of the best matchups of the weekend. That Philly offensive line versus that Rams defensive line that just is athletes and they can go.
They can go.
It is that to me probably determines this game. Like that D-line because I do think
the game is going to be in the trenches.
Yep.
So here's what as you're talking, the big question I have, and it's also an assumption. So this is my humble opinion. I think one of the problems with Philadelphia in their offense is you don't know what their identity is.
This episode of 89 is sponsored by Row. Guys, we know that Valentine's Day, less than a month away. Get moving. But it shouldn't be the only time that you're focused on romance. Yes, life gets in the way from time to time, but you could also use a little boost in the bedroom from time to time. And Row Sparks provides that boost for you to where you can last longer and you and your partner can have fun longer. Now, Row Sparks connects you with medical providers 100% online, so there's no awkward face-to-face interaction. If you are approved, well, bang, it shows up directly at your doorstep. If prescribed, new sexual health patients will get $15 off Sparks on a recurring plan. So connect with a provider on row.co/89 to find out if prescription Row Sparks is for you. Be ready for play with Row Sparks.
Is you don't know what their identity is. Are they a running team that thrives off play action? Are they a passing team who sprinkles in the run? I don't think they really know. And I think that's the part why they're up and down, right? You know Saquon Barkley was brought there, but yet you still at times there are spurts where Saquon Barkley is not being utilized. But then you have A.J. Brown and you have Smitty. And there's times where they only get the ball 3 or 4 times. It just doesn't make sense. It's so up and down.
I'd push back a little bit, Steve, and say their identity. I'm curious what your take is because I think their identity. This is what I think Jalen assumes their identity is. If I play efficient and I don't turn the ball over, which is how they won this game, right? He didn't turn the ball over, and Jordan Love threw 3 picks. They had 4 turnovers total.
Yep.
If I play efficient and I don't turn it over, and I know I got a good defense, it almost feels like it's conservative in his mind to some degree because he's thinking that's the formula to win. Can you win like that in the postseason?
They're winning. The problem is you need to tell your receivers that, and you need to stop having all these damn practices where y'all doing all this passing, and then you get in the game and you do things differently. That's where the frustration comes because you don't know. It's like, oh, we practice, we're gonna do this, and you get in the game. It's like, bro, where are these plays coming from? It's 3rd and 5, and we're running this. That's not what we discussed. Mm-hmm. So that's the part that I'm seeing, and I think that's the frustration and the inconsistency that's happening with this team offensively. It's like we know this team runs a lot of. Vic Fangio comes out and he does an all-out blitz for the first 4 plays. You'd be like, who? What?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense, and so that's why I said I don't really understand. I don't know if they understand their offensive identity because you can tell the Offense doesn't because they're a frustrated locker room. Frustration comes because you don't know.
I would run behind the largest human on the planet in Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson. I'd run left. That'd be my identity.
I mean, that's true. They do that, but then they drop back and do some things. You're going, what was that?
So in this game, we know the strength of and the weakness of the Rams defense. Strength's at D-line.
Yeah, weakness secondary.
Weakness secondary. Do they have the ability to adjust Philly to go, we can go and do this, this, and this against the secondary? That's what I'm curious about. Because I think there's enough people that want the identity to be Saquon. But can you in this game go, this is our advantage, and change?
Well, we know Minnesota, their identity is passing the ball. It's definitely not running it. And they did a great job of exposing Sam Darnold and kept him contained and under pressure and made him hesitate every single opportunity. So I guess the question and the answer I'm asking you, do you feel like Jalen Hurts under pressure makes just as good of decisions as Matthew Stafford does under duress?
I don't think it's close. I think Matthew Stafford makes far better decisions under pressure than Jalen Hurts.
Well, we won't find out.
But I do think Jalen's decision-making under pressure this season, specifically after the bye, was I'm not going to make the decision to force a ball and turn this ball over.
That's not good.
I will say that. Yeah, which is to live another day type of plays are very prevalent during this win streak. But can you go the gotta have it moment and I gotta go make a play? That's where we've seen him do it in the past, and there's playmakers that he can get it to. I think that's going to be the one to see because I think he's going to have to use his legs with this defensive line. So
he's going to be under duress. I don't care what y'all say, them boys could come. Hoo-wee! Those boys is good.